What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I got some new news for you, man. It's a buzz going around, and Sugar Shane Mosley has been real vocal these days. You know what I mean? He made a statement, and it was a bold statement. I love bold statements. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people really don't say bold statements, unless they're either retired or whatever, which Sugar Shane Mosley is, But hey, it did create a buzz, and he made a statement that a prime DelaHoya would have beat Floyd Mayweather Jr. Okay, and and in the statements he went on to elaborate that that Oscar De La Hoya was faster, Oscar De La Hoya was stronger. Um, and he said that he would have beat um Mayweather in his prime. Now, and okay, how do I feel about this? All right. Well, I feel that I think De La Hoya punched harder than Mayweather, but I think Mayweather punched harder than people thought he did. You know what I mean? Until they got in the ring and they understood what speed versus power, um, that partnership is. When you get hit with punches you don't see, it doesn't have to be a devastating hard punch. You know what I'm saying? Like look at Alvarez and Kovalev. Alvarez wasn't a hard puncher, but then he was a fast puncher. And then of course, when you don't see punches coming, they're gonna hurt you more. Floyd was the master of that. A lot of times he countered you in those counters. It's counter punching, right? You don't see a counter punch a lot of times. You know what I mean? You're trying to throw your own punch and make it count. So that's your focus. Then if you're focused on bow, you know, you get punched and it blindsides you. It just totally catches you off guard. Well, he has different type of power than De La Hoya. De La Hoya's power was mostly in his left hook. His right was decent, you know what I mean, but that his right just set up his left hand, and if you knew that about Oscar, you could beat him. Mosley knew that about Oscar. That's why he beat him. So, I don't feel that, and when people say things like that, I don't know how he meant necessarily, because a lot of people always say, well, hey, if, a prime Pacquiao would have beat Floyd, or a prime De La Hoya would have beat Floyd, you know, but you also have, if De La Hoya was in his prime, you got to also put Mayweather back in his prime. You have to consider that. You can't have a older Mayweather and what I mean, and like a younger De La Hoya. I mean, that's kind of unfair. You know what I'm saying? So you got to give the same ages to the same guys. So it's like playing John Madden. You want Barry Sanders at this age, not and Emmett Smith at this age, not let's get them when they're old. You know what I mean? I mean, a lot of guys, I'm pretty sure that could beat Floyd right now. Floyd will never fight him because he's a smart fighter like that. He's just not going to get in the ring with him. So, but anyway, that was a brewing subject. And I was watching a particular channel last night, coming home. And I don't like to point out channels. I don't do that on my channel, but I have to address this. I have to counterpunch this, man. Let's call him E Nuts, right? Okay. E Nuts has a channel, a couple 100,000 followers. You know what I mean? And he has a lot of rituals, a lot of things that he's, done to promote. I mean, I don't have anything against him or nothing like that, but it's another biased channel. I mean, you go on the channel and you just want to talk boxing, and then you just get insulted by everybody on there. His quote unquote army, right? So he made a statement about Max Kellerman, and his statement was, oh well, Max Kellerman said that Manny Pacquiao was a better fighter than, or he said Manny Pacquiao was better pound for pound than Floyd Mayweather. And he just shut Kellerman down. So I made a logical comment like I do. I make logical statements. You know what I mean? I don't say stuff like, "Oh, he's dumb. Why could he? How could he be better than him in pound for pound if he didn't beat him in a fight?" And then I rebutted with, "Hey, what Max Kellerman meant was that Manny Pacquiao did more in his career than Mayweather did. That's why he was better. So if you judge a guy from the time he started, from the time he ended, in all of his accomplishments, and if you matched up what they done, Pacquiao beats Mayweather. Not to misconstrued on, did Mayweather beat Pacquiao in a fight? Yeah, we seen that fight. Floyd outboxed Manny Pacquiao. He didn't outfight. He outpointed. That's what counts, right? To me. But his father said he fought scared. I'm going to throw that in there because, yeah, that was about that. A lot of people, I didn't think it was close, but, it wasn't a shutout, basically. So it was still a competitive fight. And what really made it boring was Floyd, because Floyd fought him a particular way where he knew, well, I'm not going to get in exchanges with this guy. And when Manny Pacquiao wanted to open up exchanges, he just tied him up. He made it a boring fight. But yes, he won. But for pound, what they did in each other's career, Manny did more. He got pissed. So, he instantly replied back, "Oh, your whole statement is dumb. That's retarded. It's trash." And I'm like, dude, you act like you're pissed off or something. You know what I mean? You sound like a biased fighter. You sound like a fanboy. But that's exactly what it is. Most of these channels are fanboys channels, and of course all these other guys, started, posting in, when it was a guy that was like, you totally misunderstood what I was saying. What he was saying was Manny Pacquiao did more in his career than Floyd, his accomplishments, the belts, the weight classes. That's a fact. And then he brings up, another guy, they roast him for, backing me. And I wasn't the only one, because it was like I had maybe 8 likes and Ego, of course, had like 10 likes. And it was weird, Sorry, E-Nuts, right? He had like 10 likes on his statement, but I mean, you're supposed to have a lot more than that, being, having all those followers, all those subscribers, right? So, and it was like, it was weird because I'm like, okay, I made one statement and none of that statement supported me being unbiased, being insulting, or being ignorant. And I got that in reply. "Oh, you're trash. That's dumb. That's retarded." You know what I mean? He said it all in a paragraph. "Oh, Manny Pacquiao lost a horn." Like, what does that got to do with it? Terrence went up and fought him and beat Horn with ease. I'm like, where did Terrence Crawford come from? Anybody that follows this channel knows I'm a Terrence Crawford fan. I know Terrence Crawford, to me, is best pound for pound. I think Terrence Crawford is the next Mayweather, but better. You know what I mean? Because this guy likes to fight. You know what I mean? And if he does lose one day, it's because he likes to fight. But, he will get up and fight another day. You know what I mean? But Floyd did the same things that Pacquiao did. He had catch weights. You know what I mean? And the only reason that Floyd fought Cotto, okay, at 154 is because Manny Pacquiao already fought Cotto at a catchweight. That's the only reason he did it. But then the year after that, he fought Canelo, right, at a catchweight, and then blamed it on Canelo. Blamed it on his camp. "Oh, well, no, they said that. They requested that they can come down 2 pounds. And then they asked Canelo, like, "No, we didn't. You told us to come down 2 pounds if we wanted this fight. So we went down 2 pounds just to fight you." You know what I'm saying? So, it's a lot. And what you going to believe? You're going to believe that Canelo's camp said, "Hey, I'll come down 2 pounds," But then if that had been Pacquiao fighting Canelo and made him do that, he would have something to say. But he did the same thing. And when I said that, oh, God, I got roasted. But I was just making sense. You know what I'm saying? So, Guys on these channels, these biased channels, man, that's why I would never want a channel like that. You know, because I understand people have boxing knowledge. Okay. I'm not the only one with boxing knowledge. I know a lot. I know that. I am educated from many different fighters from the 1900s to the current times. I study boxing. I love boxing. I enjoy boxing, and I respect boxing, most importantly. But it's certain people that, you flock. If you flock only to Mayweather and you're a Mayweather fan, okay? Fan is the root word for fanatic. Okay, just a little history lesson for people. So if you're a fan of a fighter, you can't see any flaw. You know what I mean? Because you lose wisdom about a fighter. Any guy can be beat. Just because Floyd didn't get beat, he didn't fight the people that could beat him at the time. You know what I mean? He fought Berto his last fight. And that wasn't to bash Mayweather. So they looked at it, this guy that owns this channel lashed out at me because he figured, or he didn't really like what I had to say, that corrected him about Max Kellerman. I was just educating him, and well, hey, that's what he meant by that. In case you didn't know, he took it as though, oh, you're dumb, you're stupid, you're trash. But that's arrogance from E-nuts, right? That just shows like, oh, put you in the hot. They're saying put you in the hot seat. I'm like, first of all, the hot seat is trash. And I'm gonna tell you why it's trash. You sit there and try to type as fast as he talks. And then he's like, well, you got 2 minutes. Well, no, 2 minutes doesn't complete a debate. If you wanted to go toe-to-toe with me about my boxing knowledge versus yours, that's one thing. You know what I mean? But you don't respect other people's opinion. So what difference would it make? It wouldn't have mattered anyway, because you're not going to go on Google Hangout and come toe-to-toe with me without saying something stupid or insulting. Instead of just opening your mind, be a free thinker, get your mind out of the fanboy, phase for a minute and try to think sensibly about boxing and people's career. So we were talking about Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather. So, he doesn't want to go toe-to-toe like that. You know what I mean? Because, and then, of course, when I rebutted, and I was like, dude, you sound pissed off. What's your deal? You know what I mean? He didn't reply back, oh, let my army do it. Oh, that's cool. Let your army do it. You know what I mean? And they acted just like him. So he creates duplicates in that channel. And it's really sad, man, because I guess if you're a fanboy of certain fighters, you would love it. I mean, you know what I mean? But that's one thing, to really be a fan of someone versus listening to a channel that listen to someone's doctoring like that to make you a fan of somebody just from listening to someone else, and you're buying into the BS. You know what I'm saying? Like that there, instead of, hey, think for yourself, like, oh, I think it's like this. Because I noticed everyone on that channel that either had an opinion about something else that didn't coincide with his, he's like, oh, you're dumb, get him out of here, you're trash, you're garbage. I'm like, dude, you're not the only one that knows boxing knowledge. And that's exactly how I left it. You're not the only one that knows boxing. You know what I mean? You just think you do. So anyway, I want to just lay that to you guys because, I thought that was real funny. How guys, just become fanboys and but boxing is emotional. It's an emotional sport, so you get emotional about boxing. You know what I mean? But it's like you got to take the emotion out of it a lot of times and then just really think, So, but no, back to the root, the initial question about Sugar Shane. Sugar Shane, I think what he said, it was partially biased. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think he also, this is also what I commented on. I think that Mosley is a guy that he looks back at his career since his career is over. And when he was the man at 135, I think he was the best lightweight ever. I think he would have destroyed Duran. I know that's a bold statement, but I don't see a young Duran beating him. You know what I'm saying? I don't see anybody with the hand speed and the power that Mosley had at 135. I don't see anybody beating him. No lightweight like that. None. You know what I'm saying? Maybe like Willie Pep, someone like a throwback fighter, but no, not Duran. But um, he had a choice to fight Mayweather because Mayweather was at 130, and you had four belt holders, and Floyd was, he was the golden boy of that weight class. You had Joel Casamayor, you had Arcelino Freitas, you had Diego Corrales. He chose and he fought Diego Corrales and unified that, but he didn't unify. He didn't become undisputed at that time. Okay, and by the time he wanted to fight Mosley, now that fight was on the table, and Mosley didn't want to fight that particular fight. He turned it down because he was focused on DelaHoya, which he chose to go up there. So he went from 135 and skipped right over 140, and he fought DelaHoya and hit pay dirt. It was successful. Okay, but now him saying DelaHoya would beat Mayweather, it only makes him look good because he was the one that beat DelaHoya. See, a lot of fighters believe in this triangle theory, which I don't believe in. There's no such thing. You can't assume that. You know what I'm saying? Just because Mosley beat DelaHoya and DelaHoya had a close fight with Mayweather, that a younger DelaHoya was going to beat Mayweather because you beat a younger DelaHoya. You know what I mean? Because he beat DelaHoya in his prime. So, you got to look at the angles of how people and why people say stuff. You know what I'm saying? And the reason for Mosley saying that is because, okay, if I beat Oscar, I can say Oscar a young Oscar like I beat him would have beat Mayweather to make me look better than Mayweather. Does that make sense? That's how people do it. And that's exactly what he did. So I kind of look at things a little differently. You got to step out the box, bring yourself out of it, bring your emotions out of it, regardless of who you're fans of, and think of why a person's saying what they're saying. You know what I'm saying? So that's how you could look at it with a clearer picture. Okay. So, but anyway, no, I don't think, that would have still been a good fight though. DelaHoya and Mayweather. And who knows? Those guys never fought when DelaHoya was in his prime. Floyd was more in his prime than DelaHoya. This was 07, so they had to put Floyd. Floyd is 41. That was 11 years ago. He's 41. I think he was 31 at that time. And then after the Oscar DelaHoya fight, mind you guys, he retired. He did not give DelaHoya a rematch. He didn't give that. He had a year. DelaHoya had a rematch clause because DelaHoya was the A side. You guys forget that, right? That was the fight that just pushed Mayweather into stardom right there, okay? Because he fought and beat Oscar DelaHoya and did not give him a rematch. And he waited a year and a day just so he wouldn't, because the contract was the contract stated this, that he had a year to, if he came back within a year, it was an automatic rematch clause, and he waited a year and a day to come back to the sport of boxing just to avoid Oscar DelaHoya, though. And then what happened, the very next fight, Oscar DelaHoya fought Pacquiao. Sure, it was at a catch weight, but he got demolished. That's when everyone started, oh, wait a minute, what's up with this? And see, Floyd Mayweather retired again. This was his second time retiring. Right? He retired after the Ricky Hatton fight, right? After he beat him. Oh, I'm going to take a long layoff. I got enough money. Then you fought Oscar DelaHoya. Then, you fought Oscar DelaHoya first. Then you fought Ricky Hatton. You came back to fight Ricky Hatton, but then you retired again after that. So, you're looking at all this and you're like, okay, well, he just avoided a rematch. But then I think he got pissed because when Manny Pacquiao went in there and destroyed him, he didn't want to give Manny Pacquiao credit. Oh, well, I did that to Floyd. I did that to DelaHoya. I was the one that when I beat them, they're never the same. I'm like, first of all, you won by a split decision loss, a split decision win, So, yeah, the cards were real close. So how do you figure you act like you demolished him? That wasn't a Corrales performance. That wasn't a Corrales performance or a Gotti performance. That was nothing like that. So yeah, you had a close fight with Oscar DelaHoya, and you didn't even give him a rematch. But then the next guy demolished him. If Floyd would have done that, Floyd would have been appraised by the accolades, right? You know what I mean? He would have been praised, but he knew, he probably like, well, man, maybe I shouldn't have fought Hatton. Maybe I should have fought Oscar DelaHoya again if Manny Pacquiao could have done that. We don't know, but we knew that Pacquiao destroyed DelaHoya. And in that fight, I had DelaHoya because I thought DelaHoya was way too big for Pacquiao. I'm like, there's no way this little dude's going to come up there and fight and beat DelaHoya. But he did. So you got to give him credit for it. Yeah, it was the last fight. He retired DelaHoya. Did Mayweather retire DelaHoya? No. Did Mayweather hit DelaHoya and punish DelaHoya? No. He didn't do anything like that. You know, he just used his boxing skills and his speed. DelaHoya started to slow down the half part of that fight, and that's exactly what happened. That's it. So people, you know, and Mayweather fans, oh no, this didn't mother, he's not the same. And, you know, I'm like, dude. And you know, E-Nuts, back to this guy, he goes, oh, well, you know, everybody if Floyd fought a guy that it was a question, he gave him a rematch. Lie. I'm going to tell you why that's a lie. It's because you didn't give DelaHoya a rematch. You did with Castillo. You did with Maidana, you know, but both of those guys, they had similar fighting styles. They were slow and awkward, you know what I mean? But that's why they were successful, because they fought the boxer, okay? They didn't try to box the boxer. They fought the boxer. That's how you get in the ring and become successful with a boxer. You fight him. You don't box him. You don't want to box him and fight his fight. You fight him, right? So, you know, and he said he did it better the second time. Well, you know, what happened to DelaHoya's rematch? DelaHoya was waiting for a rematch, and Floyd got out of that fight. So Floyd ducked a rematch, basically. You know, he ducked Costa Zoo. You know what I mean? Who else did he duck, really? You know, I mean, he ducked Spadafora. So, like, people don't talk about this because, you know, if you're a Mayweather fan, this would probably be the last video you would want to hear about Mayweather. But, hey, these are facts. This guy did exactly that. So, anyway, you guys tell me what you think about this, Sugar Shane's comments. Of course, please subscribe. Listen to the whole video if you haven't. And you guys been counterpunched. Peace.